Hello and welcome to the daily cricket happening show today. And I can tell you that suddenly there is a lot of cricket today. I mean, on this daily cricket show, I won't be able to go in much detail on anything because there's a lot of cricket to cover. The Ashes Test squad has been announced amidst all the controversy that happened in that brawl where Ben Stokes was injured. But the good news was that in the Ashes squad, Ben Stokes was named in the squad. Not only was he named in the squad, it came as a real surprise to me that he was named the vice captain of the England team despite the happenings. And so that is one thing. And also, there are some new faces we are going to see. Ben Foakes is one, and Craig Overton is another one who has been given an opportunity. And I will come back to Mark Stoneman keeps his place, but Tom Westley has lost his place. So this is the Ashes squad has been announced for the tour of Australia. So that is something that I'm going to look at. Then the fourth one-day international between West Indies and England. Definitely, even though Evin Lewis finished on the losing side because of Duckworth Lewis, Evin Lewis was what a wonderful batsman he's turning out to be for the West Indies. In a swashbuckling fashion, today he slammed his second century in ODIs of 176, a big century, let me tell you that, at a very young age, 176 of 130 deliveries, which was studded with fours and sixes. I'll be talking about that. Well, it was quite a different thing that England actually have already won the series against the West Indies now, with this particular match being clinched. So that is something that I will have a look at. And then also, in fact, Sri Lanka and Pakistan are taking on each other in the first test match of the series at Abu Dhabi. And I can tell you it is a new era as far as Pakistan is concerned. The reason being that Misbah ul Haq and Yunus Khan have retired from cricket, and now it is going to be the youngsters, the young brigade, who has to take them forward. So I think Pakistan are entering a new era against a rebuilding Sri Lankan team. So I think it should be an even contest to me. As far as the fourth ODI is concerned between Australia and India, all eyes will be on Australia, whether they can get their first win under the belt in this ODI series, and that is going to be the moot point. And the first test, which is coming up between Bangladesh and South Africa, where South Africa, according to me, are entering a new era. And the reason I say a new era is because it's a new coach, a successful coach at that, of England, Otis Gibson, who is the new coach of the South African cricket team. And Bangladesh, we know that they are no minnows now. They're pretty strong, and I think that it will be good to see as to how Bangladesh fare against the South African quicks on a very quickish wicket. So it will be very, very interesting. So as I said, there's too much of cricket to cover suddenly. So I'm just going to go step by step. But well, dear fans, you're not going to hear much about it. I'm just going to be giving you a synopsis of each and every match. So first, let's head on to the squad that has been selected for the Ashes series against Australia. And the England squad, as I said, it came as a real surprise and was definitely waiting to see whether Ben Stokes will be included. And yes, Ben Stokes has been included. But what is very surprising is that despite what happened, Ben Stokes has been made the vice captain of the team. So that comes as a bit of a surprise for me. I wouldn't know about others, but for me, it really came as a huge surprise that Ben Stokes was actually included in this particular team. As a vice captain. I mean, as far as his inclusion was concerned, I had no doubt that he would have definitely been selected. But what was more important or pertinent is that Stokes has been named the vice captain. So that has come as a bit of a surprise for me. But nevertheless, that is what it is. That is what it is. And as far as the team is concerned, so we are going to look at the team here. And as far as the team is concerned, uh, got his place into the team. Now, James Vince, it's been a sort of I wouldn't say a controversial selection, but definitely James Vince, who was really struggling, as you remember, but probably through the weight of his runs in English county cricket, probably has got the nod. So James Vince has made it. Gary Balance has been recalled for the Ashes tour. There is Craig Overton. Now, Craig Overton is a pace bowler. He can also bat a bit. And he's one of those uncapped players. There were 3 uncapped players who have been picked up. One is Craig Overton. And then Ben Foakes. Ben Foakes is not Ben Stokes, it's Ben Foakes. Surrey wicketkeeper batsman. He plays for Surrey as a wicketkeeper batsman. So he has also been selected. And one would definitely, Australia would know more about this. A very young leg spinner, a talented one at that, a Hampshire, who used to play for Hampshire in this first season itself. It was none other than leg spinner Mason Crane, and he has also been selected for the Ashes. So these are the 3 uncapped players. Unfortunately, Toby Rowland-Jones has missed the bus due to the stress fracture of his back. Mark Wood has not been considered because of his fitness. Tom Westley has lost his place in the team. But for me, the selection of James Vince has come as a real surprise. But one has to wait and watch. And Gary Balance is also back with David Mullen keeping his place, and that was also a bit surprising for me. But nevertheless, they say that Gary Balance and James Vince would be ideally suited to the Australian type of conditions, because when the ball comes onto the bat nicely, they feel that Gary Balance and James Vince would be the ones who would definitely be in a position to get some runs there. So the composition I already told you. Other than that, all the other players select themselves. Joe Root will captain the side. Moeen Ali, James Addison, Johnny Barristow. Jake Ball is getting his first tour of the for the Ashes. So that will be a sort of a great feeling for Jake Ball. To get a chance to be called up for the Ashes is something that it is every England player's dream to me. And Jake Ball has got his opportunity. Gary Balance, Stuart Broad, Alistair Cook, Mason Crane, Ben Foakes is the new cap there, David Mallon, Craig Overton is another one who has come in. He bowls good pace and also is a handy bat as well. Ben Stokes, Mark Stoneman has kept his place. James Vince is a surprise inclusion, and Chris Wokes. So that is the composition of the team as far as England are concerned for the Ashes. I have to keep definitely a tab on the time as well, because as I said, I wouldn't be able to match well. So let's get on to the 4th ODI, which was played between England and West Indies. And what a knock from Evin Lewis. As I said, I can only give you a synopsis today because I won't be able to go the whole hog. But I can tell you the outcome. England won the match by 6 runs by the Duckworth-Lewis method. It was West Indies who actually batted first, and they amassed 356 for 5 in the thanks main to that very, very long innings that Evin Lewis played. Yes, I'm going to come to that first. So West Indies were the ones who actually batted first, and I can just tell you the scores. Evin Lewis. Now, what was the feature about Evin Lewis? West Indies were definitely put under the pump by Chris Wokes when he dismissed 3 batsmen in a trice. Gale was the first victim. Gale was the first victim to go. Caught root ball Wokes for 2. Shai Hope left for 11, caught behind the bowling of Wokes. And Marlon Samuels once again continued his very, very poor form in this ODI series, as he was nipped LBW by Wokes for 1 to leave the West Indies innings reeling at 33 for 3. And one thought that West Indies are going to have a real fight here. But see, look at that knock of Evin Lewis. Now, what was Now, Evin Lewis, unfortunately, was hit on the knee, and he's a doubtful. He won't be taking part in the final one day at National. But besides that, Evin Lewis, unfortunately, had to retire hurt, hit on the ankle when inside his delivery from Jake Ball, and he finished on retired hurt 176 of 130 deliveries, 17 fours and 7 spanking sixes from Evin Lewis. And Evin Lewis, let me tell you one thing, that today we saw a different facet of his game. We all know Evin Lewis as a one who can really, really blast the ball. But this bloke, I can tell you, is really showing some great maturity. from 33 for 3 in the company of Jason Mohammed. They chiseled together a partnership. Evin Lewis showing great dedication, I would say. I mean, you can imagine this. I mean, he didn't have a single six till he reached his century, probably his 90s. And then after that, he really went into top gear as he started smacking runs of 36 balls. His 76 would have come off 36 balls to my reckoning. And look at that knock-off. It's a capital knock from Evin Lewis. And West Indies would have never expected that they would recover and post 356 for 5 of the 50 overs. Evin Lewis blasted 176 of just 130 deliveries, 17 fours and 7 sixes. And I can tell you for a fact that this guy is slowly and surely walking into Chris Gale's shoes for sure. And other than that, Marlon Samuels, as I said, had a poor game. Jason Mohammed made 46 of 71, 4 fours. Did the holding up job very well in the company of Evin Lewis, but Jason Holder was a picture of great hitting as he slammed 77 of 62 balls, 4 fours and 4 sixes. Roman Powell indulged himself in an unbeaten 28 of 15, 2 fours, 2 6, 356 for 5, the final tally. I'm not going to go into the bowling figures. The English bowlers were really rammed, I would say. Vokes had 3 for 71 of his 10. Jake Ball went for 68, none for 68. Liam Plunkett went for 67, got some mauling from the bat of Evin Lewis. Moeen Ali disappeared for 70 of his 9 overs. Joe Root bowled 1 over for 10. And Adil Rashid, 10 overs, got slammed for 67. As far as the England innings was concerned, England had Jason Roy coming into the team in the absence of Alex Hales. And Jason Roy really made this opportunity count as England were also put under severe pressure. Not under severe pressure, the opening partnership was real base, but it was Jason Roy who was doing all the scoring as Jason Roy slammed 84 of 66 deliveries, 11 fours and 2 sixes. A wonderful knock from Jason Roy. I thought they really walked into some good form there. Jonathan Barristow contributing 39 of 51 with 2 fours, Joe Root 14 and then 15 of 2 fours, Morgan 19 of 17 with 3 boundaries. But it was decided by the Duckworth Lewis method with a revised target of 253 runs to get for England from 35.1 overs, and England polished it off in the 35.1 overs. So they basically completed the target in the stipulated overs with Josh Butler not out on 43, but Moeen Ali once again showing his pyrotechnics as he remained unbeaten on 40 with 25 deliveries, 6 fours and 2 sixes. Well, one good thing to happen, I would say, for the West Indies bowlers was Alzari Joseph, that young tall bowler, picked up his first fifer. So he would be very happy with this effort. 8.1 overs, no maiden, 56 runs and 5 because a maiden 5-wicket haul for the young and tall Alzari Joseph. So Evin Lewis definitely was named man of the match, and Evin Lewis is definitely is man who is making the international, the opposition really notice him now, because he could be a dangerous bloke for every opposition now. Now the other in a very quick manner, because of short of time, Sri Lanka are taking on South Africa. Sri Lanka are taking on South Africa in the first test match tomorrow at Potchefstroom. Sri Lanka, well, they are in the rebuilding phase, as we all know. This is going to happen. The first test match is happening in United Arab Emirates. It's going to be played in Abu Dhabi, and I can say one thing for a fact here, that Pakistan are entering a new era. It's a post Misbah-ul Haq and Yunus Khan era that Pakistan are entering, and it's not going to be easy. It's a rebuilding phase, and Sri Lanka are already into the rebuilding phase, so it will be good to see as to how Pakistan fare in their rebuilding. As I said, they had 2 stalwarts who have retired, Yunus Khan and Misbah-ul Haq, and now it's the turn for Pakistan to really show. I can't go into those details. As I said, I'm really short of time here because there's a lot of cricket to cover, but I can say for a fact that I think we are in for an interesting series here in the United Arab Emirates. The 4th ODI against Australia and India, what is going to be very important is whether Australia can pick up their first win on this ODI series, as India have been ramming them very well, and it's going to be played at Bengaluru and the Chinnaswamy Stadium. Well, one has to wait and watch as to what really comes up. But I can tell for a fact, that this game is going to be very important from the view of the Aussies, because India has nothing to lose. Probably whether they would be tempted to make any experimentation. That's what my thing would be, because India have already won the series, or are they going for the real killer? Are they really going for the kill? So that will be interesting. So I'm also going to see whether India are going to experiment. But looking at the squad here, does not look anything of an experiment. It looks the same squad. So definitely, I think the Indian captain Virat Kohli has decided he's going for the kill. So probably India is aiming at a 5-0 whitewash of the Aussies, and probably they want to make sure that they also win the fourth ODI. But Australia, as I said, are not the ones to take things lying down. They are going to strike hard, no doubt about it. But it will be interesting to see as to how it all goes there in the fourth ODI at Bengaluru. And the last one that we are going to talk about is the Bangladesh tour to South Africa. Now, I can tell you one thing for a fact, that the home team South Africa are entering a new phase. And the reason I say that they are entering a new phase is because Otis Gibson, the most successful coach of the English cricket team, has taken over the reins of the South Africans. So South Africa have a new coach, Otis Gibson. This is his first assignment, and the first test match is going to be played at Potchef's Room. So it will be interesting to see. And it will also be interesting to see about this young bloke by the name Aiden Markram, whether if he's going to make his test debut. He's someone who's going to be watered. There's a lot of things being said about this young bloke Aiden Markram, that he's absolutely leadership quality. One is also comparing it with Graham Smith, who became a very successful South African captain at that. But probably it's early days according to me. But only the proof of it lies in tasting the pudding, as we all say. So the proof of it lies in he getting some scores in this particular test match against Bangladesh. So Aiden Markram would be definitely making his debut as an opener. And other than that, this team is looking, as I said, that time is shortage, and the South Bangladesh, I can tell you one thing, that this Bangladesh team is not the one to be trifled with. There was a time when you could say that Bangladesh were just there, but now this particular team, under the coach and the stewardship of the former Sri Lankan player Chandika Hatrasinghe, according to me, are real Panthers. So Bangladesh would have their task cut out, according to me. It's not going to be easy. They will be put to real test on the South African pacey and bouncy pitches, and Bangladesh have to really play very well. It will be very interesting to see. They definitely are lacking the services of Shakib Al Hasan, who has taken a breather, who has decided to take a big break from Test cricket from international cricket for 6 months. So that definitely, and Shakib Al Hasan not being the team will make a huge difference, because he's a total contributor in all three departments of the game, as we all know. But as far as Bangladesh are concerned, they still have some experienced hands in the form of Tamim Iqbal, Mahmudullah, Mushfiqur Rahim, and they would be hoping that these three players definitely fire in every match. And other than that, it'll be interesting. There are some new guys. Subhashish Roy was played against New Zealand. Mustafizur Rahman would be the one who would be really, I think he would be really loving to have the new cherry and hurl it at the South Africans for sure. This is the first trip for Mustafizur Rahman, and I'm really looking forward to Mustafizur Rahman really getting some wickets on this track, because it is, as you know, the South African pitches are very conducive as far as pace bowling is concerned, because of the pace and bounce that it can generate. So one is really looking forward to a wonderful cricket week here, I would say, because as I said, there's a lot of cricket coming in, and one really hopes to really have a very nice time in this week, which could be called the cricket week. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I hope you all enjoyed this cricket broadcast of mine, and hope to catch up with you tomorrow on my next cricket broadcast. Until then, it's good night.